When the PS5 was released, and this guy over here got one, he was raving about the headset. He's like I think they call it the Pulse.
The Pulse, 3D Pulse.
Pulse 3, right? You were like, you have to get one of these. Even if you don't get a PlayStation, get this. It's going to be worth some money because people are going to be looking for it. And it's like next level headset. And it does all this and that. It makes you pancakes in the morning, all kinds of crazy stuff. And I was like, okay. I don't know. Like, can it really do all that? Is it really that great? And then I seen an article and they're like, oh, Xbox is coming out with their headset and it's going to be just as good, if not better. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So Xbox is coming out with their own headset. Looks cool. I think it looks pretty dope. I have the Xbox Series X, and it's the black and green, so it looks very uniform, like it belongs. Looks like it has some really nice, comfortable cushions, and the microphone folds right up. That's not necessarily anything new. Let's see. It says the black and green over-the-air headset has a retractable microphone, PU leather ear cups, and a metal inner headband. The edges of the ear cups are rubberized rotisserie dials. Rotary dials. I'm thinking chicken already. Used to adjust the volume and the game chat balance. The overall aesthetics have been designed to be intentionally understated to allow it to blend into the surroundings alongside the Xbox Series X and S consoles. So it's also going to have Dolby DTS, 3D audio, Windows Sonic, and Dolby Atmos. So this is supposed to give you that real surround sound. So I'm not going to try to say that I'm some kind of expert in headphones or expert in all of this crazy stuff. What was some of the things that the Sony Pulse was so good that was it that surround sound?
Yeah, the way the 3D Pulse had it, it was like within the cup, you could hear like very specific parts of your ear of where the sound was coming from. It wasn't like just one dimension where it just came in and there's your sound. The way they had it sounded like a surround sound, like 3D. It's nuts. It has all the same stuff that they're talking about. With Dolby and DTS, all that stuff. But the only thing I would say with the Pulse that I did not like after using it for a couple months now is that when it sits very tight. And with the gold headset from PlayStation, I typically would just take one ear off.
Yeah.
And I would have one in, one off. And, that way I have one ear to listen. With this one, you have to have both ears in.
Right.
If you do take it off, it just feels a little weird,
Okay.
And I'm used to taking one off. But that's the thing. If you do have them both on, it feels comfortable. But after a while, when you take it off, you're just like, oh, like I need a massage now. Like it's a little tight. So I wish with the 3D Pulse, they did a little bit different where they could expand it. Or just change the comfort level a little bit. It was like that aspect. I think they could have done better when it comes to the sounds and the features and everything. Freaking amazing! Like that headset is just badass. I think just because of the comfortability, I sometimes switch back to the old headset. Only because I could take the ear off. But there is a massive improvement when it comes to sound when you have them both on the new one, on the 3D Pulse. With this one, with Xbox, my first impression, like when you were telling me this, when you're just like, yeah, it should be hopefully as good or better. They're kind of like hopefully we get there. Maybe we'll see. I'm like, come on, Xbox.
That's our opinion, not theirs. If you ask Xbox directly, you'd be like, yeah, we're the best out there. How do you mean?
Yeah, but okay, when you read this article from IGN and they're just like, yeah, it's going to retail similar price point and it's going to be somewhat equivalent at the same price and it's going to be similar to the PS5. All they're doing is, this is what they're doing. Here's the PS5. Here's Xbox. Okay, we're going to try to get there. We're gonna try to get similar. That's what's happening. They're not coming out saying, look, you could change this, you could do this, something that PS5 doesn't. I don't care if it's one little stupid thing. I don't care if it's one tiny thing. The thing is that the way that it's being compared is similar to the PS5. They're not setting a standard, they're not setting their own platform, they're not doing nothing with it. This is going to be more of course, if you have an Xbox, this is what you need to get. We have our official Xbox headset. I've been able to play with the PS5's Pulse on my computer. I've been able to sync it up to different things. And I'm like, this is pretty badass. Like, I'm using it for multiple things. With Xbox, and I know this is just a marketing thing. If you have the console, you need to get the headset. It's like, if you have a console, you need to get the remote. It just goes hand in hand. I just wish they would have done something where
they have done something here that I think is pretty interesting. My son will probably use this feature a lot, but they're saying that you can actually sync it to more than one source simultaneously. Now, my son is infamous for having his phone in his hand with his earbud attached to his phone and somehow putting a headset on his head for his Xbox. So he's listening to Discord or whatever group or chat group, and he's playing a game, and he's listening to the game audio, and he's trying to do it all at the same time. So I will say that feature,
that's not new. That's not different. That's the thing. You're not selling me on something. Hey, look, we could do something different. It's been done already. It's been happening already. Well, that's the only thing. That's the only thing. It's not groundbreaking. Like this is groundbreaking. When Xbox came out with their camera back with the 360, they're like, look at the I forget what their camera was called. Like, look at the 360 camera, or was it? No, it wasn't Xbox One. It was the 360. They have this camera that picks you up and knows everything what you're doing, and it was like it syncs it up so much better than the PS3. It was just doing stuff that it wasn't out there yet. That was a standard. It came out late, exactly like this, with a standard. Like, look, boom, this is what we can do that PlayStation's not doing. And they didn't even have to say PlayStation's not doing. It says, look, it does this and this and this and this and this. And you're just like, I remember, like, that was the reason I was that close of not buying a PS4, because they were the ones that were setting a trend. And I was like, okay, I'm going to wait until the PS4 comes out and they start announcing stuff, and then I'll make my decision. The reason why I did not go with Xbox is because the guy who invented that camera, they fired him and PlayStation hired him. And I was like, Xbox, you lost me. I'm out.
Are you being this hard on Xbox's headphones because they're coming out after PlayStation's headphones? Like, if Xbox came out with their headphones first and then PlayStation was announcing their release of their headphones now, would you think that PlayStation would have to do some kind of groundbreaking feature? Well, that's the only reason, right?
If you're going to be late to the game, if you're coming out with a console, okay, it's like freaking Master Chief. Where the hell are you? The new console is out, and your flagship game is not around.
He jumped too high. He's not coming back.
He ain't coming back. That's the thing. People were so hyped about these consoles, and the flagship game was not there. What?
I'd debate Master Chief still being a flagship, because I think Gears of War took that over. I'm just saying, hey.
Maybe, but where's Gears of War right now?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the thing. If Gears of War came out on launch, you have an argument to make.
Well, there's Gears 5, but that it was still available on the previous console. But what if they just take the headphone and they do it really well, but they don't give you a new feature? Like, they do it better, than the PS5 with the comfort for you. But they don't give you, it doesn't brush your teeth or something. I don't know.
To me, this thing looks like like with the big old stick sticking out. It just looks like a cheapo. It looks like it looks. Well, I shouldn't say cheapo. It looks like any other. It looks like any other headset. Do you know how the Pulse looks like?
Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah.
Yeah, the Pulse looks very different. Actually, PlayStation's headsets looks very different than from any other headsets that are out there. They don't got that big old freaking dildo sticking out into your mouth.
Wow. Well, then I wasn't going to take it there. Anyways, if anyone's looking for this new Xbox headphone, it's going to be available to purchase on March the 16th.
I'm just saying, if you're going to be late to the game, come in with a bang. Don't try to slide into my DMs and be like, hey, I'm here. Hey. No, come in with something. Dude, that green thing, like the green thing around the Xbox, you know what would be cool? If that thing was lighting up like a glow.
Doesn't it?
Doesn't look like it. Just look, it looks like the Xbox console where the top part is just green. It's just green, doesn't do nothing. It's a plastic thing inside of a plastic thing. Come on. You can't put a little LED light in there just to make it like pulse or something? Like, can't you do something, Xbox?
Do you imagine if they ended up calling it the Xbox headphone pulse or something like that just because it had the pulsing LED? Oh man, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, it would have been hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. Like right out the gate, Xbox had their console along with PlayStation. Xbox said there's going to be this really expensive remote coming soon, like a pro remote that's going to be expensive. PlayStation's like, hey, here is the pro remote. We're not making a whole bunch of remotes. It comes with the badass remote, period. Especially those, I told you about it. When I was using the triggers, it felt like I was shooting a gun. Like you actually felt the trigger. Like I was so immersed into the PS5's remote. It was insane. I was like, dude, this is nuts. This is crazy. People were making videos about how cool all the new features were. We really didn't get that much from Xbox. And see, this is why I get so passionate and so angry at Xbox, because if Xbox doesn't do something wow, PlayStation doesn't have to. PlayStation would just be like, well, let's try doing this. Cool, this works. You know what I mean? Thank God that so far PlayStation's done some badass stuff. I'm just saying, Xbox, come on. Pick up the slack. Where the hell, when's Master Chief coming back down from the jump?